All right, Kamala Harris, a woman polling at 0% in her own party's primary when she was plucked out of obscurity by the Vice President of the United States because I think he basically, or whoever's in charge of him, realized this man's breaking down, but we don't want someone competent behind him or they're going to push him out real quick. Who can we get? Here's Kamala. Here's what she tweeted yesterday, because remember, they can run on fear and scary stuff. If Donald Trump gets the chance, he will sign a national abortion ban that would criminalize abortion in every single state. We are not going to let that happen. When Congress passes a law that restores the protections of Roe, President Joe Biden will sign it into law. Okay, there's so many things. There's such a profound lack of understanding of how the government works or what even just transpired with Roe v. Wade, which just had the 2-year anniversary of the reversal and everything else. Roe versus Wade, originally in 1972, when it was passed, said that there was a constitutional right to abortion. So it became legal in every state, right? And then every state had its own expiration time on when you could have the abortion. So some had 12 weeks, some had 15 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. Democrat states, we now know, were going well into the 8-month and post-abortion, which old school, that would be known as murder. The reversal of Roe v. Wade did not make abortion illegal. There is no illegal abortion in the United States. All it did was kick it back to the states, because that is how the Constitution is set up. Things that are not explicitly put in the Constitution are left to the states, not to the federal government. So most people, there were plenty of legal experts who are pro-choice in their own personal lives. When Roe v. Wade got reversed, they thought it was the right decision, not because they were thrilled about it, but because it was more in line with actually what the Constitution says. Donald Trump has also never said that he is going to make abortion illegal federally. And by the way, even if Congress tried to make it legal federally, the Supreme Court already decided it's not a federal issue. But of course, she was just lying altogether, even as per Trump's statements over the last couple of days. David Sachs, I had told you guys that he's one of the co-hosts, of course, of the All In podcast, and he hosted a huge fundraiser for Donald Trump last week in San Francisco. He saw Kamala's tweet, and he tweeted this out, and then we'll show you the video.
To put it simply, it's now up to the states. And like Ronald Reagan, I'm a believer in the exceptions, the 3 exceptions, as you know, and rape, incest, life of the mother, the danger for the life of the mother. And we have a situation now where it's in the states' hands, and the states are going to be voting. The last thing people want, the people are going to be voting. The last thing people want is for that to go back into the federal government. It was always fought, and very importantly, and people wanted it, they wanted it back in the states where it belongs legally and for a lot of other reasons.
So you wouldn't support a national ban?
No, I wouldn't support a national ban. No, I would not.
You know, there's something particularly interesting about this, and I would say this is the best version of Trump. For Trump to say, I will support a national ban, he would get the base fired up beyond imagination, right? So the base that really is absolutely pro-life, and there's an absolutely good and moral argument to make for that position. Even Bill Maher, who is pro-choice, has said that the pro-life argument makes more moral sense than the pro-choice argument, okay? So Trump, what he's doing right there, he's saying, I have these 3 exceptions, but I am not going to just throw red meat to the base, right? Like, I'm going to do something that is more moderate. What is the more moderate position as it pertains to abortion? Would the more moderate position be we're going to ban abortion altogether, or abortion for everybody with no restrictions? Or would the most moderate position for a country of about 330 million people who have all sorts of religious and philosophical differences and cultural differences and everything else, the most moderate position would be kick it to the states, and then you as a human being have to decide, where does abortion fall in your hierarchy of importance? If abortion access, 8-month abortion access, is the most important thing to you, meaning it's more important than immigration and it's more important than taxes and the economy and everything else, then you should move to California. But if it's not that important to you, or you're completely pro-life from a religious perspective, you could say move to a place like Florida where they have the heartbeat bill 6 weeks. I've written about this and discussed it many times. I am much personally more comfortable with 12 to 15 weeks. Florida has 6 weeks, but that's not something that would cause me to leave this state. But you want as much choice and freedom as possible. Stay right there, people, because the only one of its kind, this prescription Contagion Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company, provides you with a carefully selected assortment of effective medications for bird flu, COVID-19, and other respiratory illnesses. Ivermectin, HCQ, Z-Pak, Tamiflu and budesonide, along with a nebulizer, so you can rest easy knowing that you have emergency meds on hand, along with a guidebook for safe use. Backed by research from experts like Dr. Peter McCullough, the wellness company's Contagion Emergency Kit is a must-have. Order today at twc.health/Rubin. Code Rubin saves you 15% at checkout with the wellness company.